Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. Pixel is a Labrador who loves to play at Canine Corner with all the other dogs, puppies, and brave cats. Pixel is not the same as all the other dogs who are playing, or even his sister Star. He is a tiny pup with soft golden hair and big brown eyes, and his parents worry about him all the time. Pixel gets tired of his parents telling him to be careful and stay home so you don't get hurt. One day, Pixel decides to do just that and explores the basement, where he finds the most wonderful thing. Pixel wants to make video games. It was a beautiful sunny day at Canine Corner, where all the dogs, puppies, and the occasional brave cat came to play. The field was the favorite place for those who lived in Posington, as it had the perfect mix of wide open space and challenges that puppies could navigate when they felt like climbing, jumping, or hiding. It was particularly noisy today, as it seemed almost everyone had come to enjoy the day. You couldn't hear the birds or much else for all the giggles, barks, and occasional yelp when someone played a bit too rough. Among all these energetic puppies was Pixel, a Labrador who stood out. But not because he was the biggest or the fastest. Pixel was the tiniest pup of all. He had soft golden fur and big brown eyes that always watched the world with curiosity. But being small in a world of larger, faster, and stronger puppies had its challenges. Pixel's parents were always worried about him, scared he might get hurt when he played the larger puppies' rough games, and they never wanted him to wander too far. Pixel knew they loved him, but their overprotectiveness made Pixel feel even tinier. "Be careful, Pixel," his mom would call out. "Don't run too fast," his dad would caution. "Oh, I wish they would clean up all those trees in the park," his mother said to an elder dog who watched over the puppies. "From ruins rise playgrounds," the elder dog said. "You worry too much. Your little one will be fine." The challenges were recently introduced after a huge wind came through the area a year ago. This wind knocked over a number of trees, which at first made many a little sad, but not the puppies, who saw the fallen trees as an excellent place to play. Pixel wasn't the only puppy in the family. He had an older sister who was called Star. She was the opposite of Pixel: big, strong, fast, and extremely confident. Wherever she went, a trail of admiring puppies followed, all in awe of her athletic abilities. She could fetch a ball faster than anyone and had a jump that could clear the tallest fences. Everyone admired her. Pixel adored his sister and often tried to follow her, hoping some of her abilities would rub off on him. But more often than not, whenever he tried to catch up with her or do what she did, he would end up stumbling over his big paws, roll, and end up in a cute but clumsy heap of fur. Star would often laugh and encourage him to follow his own path. "We can't all be the same, little bro," she would say. "What a boring town it would be if we were. You will grow in your own time and find your unique way in the world." Pixel often wondered what the path he was supposed to follow was. He didn't want his parents to always have to protect him, and he wanted to do something no one else could. He wanted to be as special as his sister was. The next day, though the weather was perfect for playing outside, Pixel decided to listen to his parents and stay home. They were constantly worried that he might get hurt, so having him stay home was the safest thing they could think of. Pixel was a bit bored and decided to explore parts of the house he spent little time in, especially the basement, which had all kinds of things he hadn't had time to see before. Looking through some boxes in the basement, he stumbled upon something behind them that he thought must be pretty cool. It was a computer, likely purchased for his sister, but she didn't seem to have any time to use it, as it lay covered in dust. He turned it on and clicked on a colorful icon, which launched something full of vibrant colors and cool sounds, and he watched characters embark on adventures. Pixel realized he wasn't just playing a game as he tapped and clicked. He was being transported to worlds where size didn't matter, and a tiny hero could conquer giants. In the world of video games, with some practice skill, he could be the biggest dog around. As he was playing with the computer, Pixel had an idea. He didn't want to just explore these worlds inside the game. He wanted to create them. He imagined games where pups like him could be the heroes, where every challenge could be overcome with intelligence and creativity, not just strength. So Pixel decided he would be the best computer game designer Canine Corner, no, the world, had ever seen. He mentioned his new idea at dinner that night, but everyone seemed less than enthusiastic. "Pixel, you are so young. Why don't you try something easier? I don't want you to be disappointed," his mother said. His father was equally concerned. "Are you sure spending time in front of a computer is going to make you as strong as Star?" he asked. But Pixel was still determined. Pixel went to the library to borrow all the books they had on making video games, and every day he would go down to the basement and study. It was much more difficult than he had ever imagined, but with each mistake, each setback, he learned something new. After he read through all the books, Pixel began studying game designs from various creators online. He watched countless tutorials, trying to learn programming, how to create game art, and how to weave stories within a game. It was sometimes frustrating, but he didn't give up. One day, as he was struggling with a particularly tricky piece of code, a shadow loomed over him. It was Bite, the old tabby cat from next door. Bite had been known to fix any gadget in the neighborhood and used to be called a tech expert in his younger days. "What you up to, young pup?" Bite asked, his whiskers twitching as he smiled. "I want to create my own video game," Pixel replied excitedly. "But it seems so difficult and sometimes I get frustrated." Bite smiled even more. "Ambitious for someone with big paws. Maybe I can help you. Are you sure you have the time?" For a budding young game designer like yourself, I have all the time in the world. Over the coming weeks, with Byte's help, Pixel made leaps and bounds in his ability to create a game. He learned not just how to code, but how to create emotion in his game. Byte introduced him to graphics, sound design, and storytelling. Together, they crafted Pixel's first game, a simple one inspired by Mario, where a tiny hero had to navigate obstacles in a world full of giants, just like when Pixel visited Canine Corner to play. Pixel was very excited and invited some friends to check it out, but they didn't really like it. They pointed out that while it was cute, there were far more complex and engaging games out there. They didn't seem impressed by Pixel's efforts at all. When he showed his game to his mother and father, their reaction was much the same. They liked that he had found something to work on, but they didn't appreciate how much work he had completed to get as far as he did. Sad, Pixel retreated to the basement, doubt creeping in. Maybe he was just a small pup in a big world. Maybe this was just another area where he'd be overshadowed by others. Then, a short time later, his big sister Star came to the basement, asking to see his game. "This is very impressive, Pixel," she said. "I'm so proud of you." "Everyone faces critics," she said, "and there will always be someone who doesn't see the value in what you do. But remember, there are also those who will love it. So don't give up. I think you may just have found your path. You just need to work a little bit more." Inspired, Pixel decided to try something new. He wanted to craft a game that not only mirrored his life, the challenge of being a small pup in a world of big dogs, but also the strength that came from within. He'd have players feel the joy of overcoming all the obstacles a small pup faced. But this was challenging. Pixel delved deeper into game design, exploring intricate graphics, more elaborate plots, and even adding a multiplayer function. There were nights when he felt exhausted, ready to give up. But every morning he got up and started working again, with Byte helping him whenever he had questions. For days, Pixel worked on the game, often not going outside to play with the other pups, but instead staying inside to continue finishing what he hoped would be a greatly improved experience for the players of his game. Sometimes there would be a glitch that would set him back for days. But despite all the challenges, Pixel persevered. His new game wasn't just about a tiny hero navigating a world of giants, but about resilience. You had to work hard to complete the game. It was engaging, the graphics vivid, and the storyline captivating and fun. Pixel was missed at Canine Corner. The other pups loved how he would always try to do what the other dogs did, despite his size. When people asked where he had gone, word started to spread about Pixel's project, and the pups started getting excited to see and play his game. Star, who had become one of his biggest supporters, was especially eager to experience the world Pixel had crafted, and she would often come down to the basement to check on his progress. When he was finally satisfied with his finished game, Pixel and Byte transformed the basement into a gaming arena. They again invited all his friends and his parents to try his game. As they each played his game, The room filled with cheers. He seemed to have a hit on his paws. His parents finally realized the value of all his hard work, and Star, after playing through a particularly difficult level, turned to Pixel and said, "You did it, little bro. You found your path." The game was more than just a hit in Posington. Pixel's creation soon caught the attention of gamers elsewhere, too. Bloggers and streamers shared Pixel's creation, amazed by how fun the game was, and amazed at how a pup so young could create something so great. Over time, Pixel grew large and strong, but he had found his path. He had become a game designer. And that's the end of our story. Good night. Sleep tight.